If you're feeling lost, listen up. When we start to feel lost, we look around for all of these different areas to give us fulfillment. I'm lost here, so let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. And like, oh, that's not working, or that gives me anxiety, or the result of all of those things ends up being nothing that we expected to, and we just have more feeling of wonder about what we're supposed to be doing. So here's the understanding that you've got to have today. Everything is vertical. The relationships in our lives with ourselves, with other people, with our hobbies, with what our purpose is, everything is vertical. If this is not correct, if our relationship with God is not correct, the horizontal is always going to be thrown off. Everything starts with vertical. So if you're lost right now, you need to give yourself permission to be lost and not try and find any other way out than searching after the heart of God. And all that means is telling God what's on your heart, being raw, being vulnerable with Him, sitting back and saying, God, this is what's happening in my life right now. This is the emotion that I'm feeling right now. I'm sitting back and I'm watching everybody else do this, that, and I'm feeling like I'm missing out. And the Bible tells us that if we return, the word of the Lord will not return void. So we take the promises that we have in the Bible and we say them back to God. And we say, God, you said this, so do this. I'm speaking to you, now you speak to me. And what we have to do is then cultivate a heart that's willing to listen to what God has to say to us. To remove the noise, to remove the distractions, to not say, okay, I'm going to pop down, I got my chicken tenders and my French fries, and I'm about to pop on Netflix, and then say, hey, God, if you're willing to speak to me, I'm ready to listen. And then start eating your food and then watching Netflix or whatever it is that you're binging or whatever it is that you're doing. We have to cultivate an atmosphere where we speak to God and then we allow Him to speak back to us in an environment where we can listen. A quiet place. The Bible mentions a quiet place so often. In Song of Songs, it's such a beautiful verse that talks about in the quiet, I search after you. In the stillness, you are there. So if you're having a hard time getting vision and listening to God, cultivate that atmosphere for God to speak to you. And I promise that He will. And when He does, enjoy that moment. Don't try and rush off and say, okay, God spoke to me, now I'm going to go to this. Enjoy it. Let His peace flow over you. Let His presence fill you. Because you right now are dry and you need to be restored. You need to be renewed. So just let God's love flow over you. Don't try and get a bunch of things done. Don't try and do anything. Just let God's love flow over you. And then through that flowing and that overflow, love your kids through that. Get back to the basics of what God has for us. And I promise you, before you know it, you're not going to feel lost at all. If this was able to minister to you, let me know in the comments down below what's going on and how we can partner with you in prayer, okay? Thank you guys so much. Talk soon.